in manufacturing, in engineering, in oil and gas, aviation, the most recent logistic, plantation, to name a few, and been exposed to regional role as well as the global role in terms of aligning human capital practices, and looking forward to share a bit of my thoughts on today's topic. So I pass back to you, Rani.
Yeah, thank you, Hairus. So we previously talking about like saying hi, meaning it's already called your name, right? So it's a very simple way on calling. I hope you have a very nice weather there, because in here in Indonesia it's quite hot today. And let's continue with Vidya. Vidya, it's your turn now.
Okay, thank you, Ulan, for and AsiaHRM also for having me here and picking up the topic which is much spoken today. So I'm Vidya. You can call me Vidya. Previously, I worked in manufacturing company and then just changed to the startup industry. If Hairus said that he started the human capital on 1992, right?
Yeah.
So I believe that you are much more expert than me, Hairus.
I get you there. You're trying to say that I'm not that young. Thank you. Okay.
I'm studying the human capital things is around 28 actually, so until now, and start to explore the regional things just starting during the pandemic. So yeah, learn many things from that role, and here just we can share many things here in this room. Happy to have you, Ulan, as well. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and you too, Hairus.
Yes. Thank you, Vidya. So before we move forward, I think I have Samo here with me. Samo, could you help to share, if you have it with you, could you help to share a bit about the video?
Thank you so much. Just give me 1 minute.
Yeah, thank you so much. So as mentioned that AsiaHRM is have a very a huge organization, and Samo himself is based at India. So sometimes we all the time during the pandemic, we use Zoom for meeting. Okay, this is a story about us a bit.
Everyone, my name is Rita Choi, the founder of AsiaHRM. AsiaHRM is a human resources community whereby we provide platform for all the HR professionals in Asia to exchange and share ideas on any human resources topics with the aim of adding value to each other. Besides that, we also organize online sharing sessions on topics such as talent management, leadership programs, human resources digitalization, and most recently on a series of labor law of different countries in Asia. Going forward, we will be organizing more human resources activities, hoping that all our members will be kept abreast of the latest human resources trend and development. Welcome to AsiaHRM. Do share and exchange more and participate actively. If you want to know more about AsiaHRM, do visit our website www.asiahrm.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Samo, to play the video for us. So that's a bit about AsiaHRM, as I mentioned earlier. So we are talking previously when we do the live streaming is already on. We are talking about the basic understanding about talent acquisition itself, right? So I think I will directly continue because we only have 1 hour, and talking about talent acquisition, I believe we need more than that. So, but anyway, let's do the conversation, right? So, could you share like what is changed, right, after this pandemic happened? So, how do you see the talent acquisition in current situation? Anything is changed at your challenge like before and after the pandemic? I think I will start with Hairus first.
Thanks, Wulan. I'm not Nostradamus nor a fortune teller, but this is what the situation has shown us. You see, the pandemic has left various impact to different set of people because certain industries still booms and even doing better during the pandemic. But a lot of industries, businesses, and people are badly affected. So what has changed entirely is like what people say is the environment, the expectation, the way they see at things, because the uncertainties has made people be more wary in terms of working in a less established environment or perceived less branded or less visible. So they started to look for something in a perceived more stable environment where the job security is better and then is more sustainable in any situation. But again, there are also instances in which I'm referring more towards Malaysia, but then when you read what happened in Asia, in the Western countries, in East Asian region, so it's entirely different. Like in US, I think in the Western countries, more and more people, not only in the Western, but started off there and then start to evolve the rest of the world. People start to consider in terms of, do I have the opportunity to work in a hybrid mode, working remotely or in a different form whereby can I choose to be a gig or contingent type rather than a full-time? So again, it depends on the industry. It depends entirely in terms of the business context itself. But I think I would go deeper there when you start throwing me or grilling me with the other question in terms of how do you want to look at it. So yeah, I'll pass to you, Rani.
Okay, to share what how do you see the difference? And Widya, do you have anything to share also about it?
Yeah, I think we know that the pandemic has changed the way people are working today, right? So our entire ecosystem has changed, challenge organization to continue to deliver meaningful employee and candidate touch point with limited opportunity for, I think, for human contact, right? So same with Hairus said that the priority is change actually. So how people wants to do the remote working, the hybrid working model, to prioritize their families, their beloved one. Yeah, it changed the overall talent acquisition journey, I think. Wulan.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Widya. So as then I go deeper on it, how do you see the changes in effect on the type of talent that you engage with, in particular on your area, because you're working in Indonesia, right? While Hairus is working in Malaysia. So how do you see, like, how does it affect the type of the talent that you engage with?
Okay. Yeah, I think as the talent acquisition shaped by the pandemic, companies or organizations have started to look at a global model to engage talent. So access to talent has traditionally been limited by geography. However, one factor like geography are no longer as a barrier. Companies can keep their options open as long as someone is qualified to do the work. They can be a candidate for us. This has opened a new world of opportunities to the companies, to the organization looking for the talent. So instead of having to be a physically to be physically located nearby, companies can now be more focused on finding people that are organizational fit, culture fit, and have the appropriate skill. It means that, you know, technology and remote or hybrid work model offer huge opportunities to engage geographically. Okay. Yeah, in fact, workers may be even more proactive where flexibility opens, provide more global and diverse perspectives. Yeah, I think that's my opinion, Wulan.
Yeah, thank you, Vidya. How about you, Hairus? I think like maybe the trend is also different in each country, right? So Vidya shared on the perspective of the Indonesian HR. What about the trend in Malaysia itself?
Well, there is a big question actually. I agree. I think it's a good explanation by Vidya, but I tend to defer a bit because it is not applicable in all industry in general, because it entirely depends in terms of which industry you are in. If you are in financial, if you are in consultancy, if you are in similar kind of environment, you may say so. But if you are in retail, you are in manufacturing, you are in plantation, you are in aviation and the rest, majority of the job are physically present and then customer facing. So you won't be able to have that cross-border kind of thing. Another one more thing is the term in terms of working anywhere is loosely used. Because if you are based, let's say you are in Indonesia, you engage me based in Malaysia, there are certain legal compliance requirement that you need to take care of. The taxation, the financial impact, plus so many other things. And then one thing which is missing, which a lot of people are so, my view, based on the reading as well as the experience, everybody wants to go for digitalization and hybrid. They forgot the most important thing that need to evolve is the human skill, because you won't be able to replace the personal touch of human. Yeah. So that is one of the most important things. And then furthermore, working hybrid is good, but is it sustainable? Is it applicable? And at the end of the day, are we ready? Are we prepared in terms of building a more transparent and then a more solid monitoring system to show what are the deliverables? Because at the end of the day, I don't care how much time you spend at the work. It is about what you deliver and the quality of it. So it is a different focus for different industry. And then you said it right, Rani, is about how you see it from your needs, from your priority and focus. And from there, you can start to frame in terms of your employee experience journey plus what's the need of the organization. So that's how I would take it. Yep.
Thank you, Hairus. Thank you for the explanation. So let's move to the something that I think it was become big issues by end of last year. People talking a lot, especially when you are very active on LinkedIn. People talking a lot about the great resignation. Well, in my opinion, as people who I'm working in the HR area, I feel that this is actually not something new. But now it's like become another conversation that become huge and big since last year, right? So could you share your opinion about it? Let's start from Hairus.
Oh, well, great resignation or great attrition or whatever things that is great, again, is only a jargon, because people has been living, people has been moving from one job to another for so many years. What is more glaring is I think the pandemic has sort of like orchestrated to be something huge. But I read an interesting article yesterday by Harvard Business Review. They call the great resignation is a misnomer. A misnomer is inaccurate explanation about resignation, because people are not quitting the job, but they are more aspired to see the new way of life. Because an example, maybe how they wrote it is based on what happened in the Western countries, especially in the US. 2 million people left the job because now they have a different sense in terms of priority. The pandemic has sort of like influenced the way how they see the work arrangement, the safety aspect, the earning opportunities, their priorities, their focus, even their dreams. And from there on, what has happened is not something new, but it has accelerated digitalization, accelerated the work from home arrangement, accelerated the remote arrangement. And then Vidya was mentioning, I can choose global talent, I can tap from them. So is it true? Again, it is something which is highly debated nowadays, but how you want to sit is depending in terms of how you rediscover the opportunities, the demand priorities. Because again, people are looking at how they want to adapt. I think Selva wrote something which is good, which is adaptability, resilience, as well as agility. Now, it is a balance factor or a level playing field between the employer and also the employee. Last time, employers said, now with people, many people are out of job, we can choose and pick who's best. But actually, the employer also choosing and picking which company they wanted to join. Is the company good enough? Is the company stable? Are they offering me flexibility? Are they offering me safety? And then the most important thing, the most important element that has been widely debated of late, especially with the Great Resignation and so forth, is about the psychological safety that organizations are able to provide to employees. Because you tend to look for people who you feel fit to your organization without realizing actually the candidate is also assessing and interviewing the organization whether they fit for them to work. So it is a two-way thing, right? So again, Selva wrote something wonderful. Lie, work to live the purpose. Because I'm a strong believer in terms of purpose, because even your existence serves a certain purpose. So if you're not happy doing things that you wanted to do, that's why people leave. But is that a great resignation? Again, what has transpired socially is only accelerating as well as provoking things to happen faster and then be more visible. That would be my view in terms of how things are happening nowadays. Yeah.
Thank you, Hairus. And hi, everyone. If you have any questions to our lovely speakers here, feel free to chat on the chat part, and then we will read and go through your questions later on. Okay, let's continue with Vidya. How do you see it? How do you measure that? Yeah, Great Resignation is something huge and it is a trend. Or do you feel that in based on your experience and your current industry experience that actually it is similar to the past years only?
Actually, what has also changed dramatically is that many employees willing to quit their jobs despite having no alternative job offer in hand. So in my opinion, actually, I cannot consider the Great Resignation is purely a pandemic or economic phenomenon. Instead, I recognize that there are several social elements perpetuating this movement, Olan. So as I work in a technology industry, in a startup industry, in general, I found that resignation rates were higher among people who work in fields that had experienced extreme increases in demand due to the pandemic. So like feeling overworked, burdened by their job-related responsibilities. So I see that the main causes of the Great Resignation here is actually the need for freedom and a desire to be valued by the company during the pandemic. However, talent acquisition will be impossible for companies that are not able to respond to these issues. The top talent will, as Hairus said, the top talent can choose what they want. The market gives us in recruiting a fantastic change to refresh our message and then go out there and highlight the reasons we work at the companies.
Okay, thank you so much, Vidya. So we are talking about that. And previously we are talking about that talent acquisition is actually about, we want to highlight about the candidate experience, right? We want to highlight about the journey itself on bringing the candidate on board, and not to mention that this is not like we cannot put a stop once we feel that we got the talent that we want, because as also Hairus mentioned that it is not only us from the company that assessing the candidate, but also the candidate is assessing us, right? So how do you see on this process of the talent acquisition, what will be like the most important things that the company should have? And also, let's say the talent acquisition team also should have. Vidya.
Okay, in such a context, it will be difficult for companies to create and sustain fundamental sources of competitive advantage, something like that. So for example, if a company can innovate a new way of hiring for the candidate experience, candidate's journey to the company. First, the talent acquisition must work, I think, with the senior management to conceptualize, frame, and champion the culture that is required. Because, you know, the culture is quite different during the pandemic. The culture that creates and sustains competitive benefit will need to be fast-moving, agile, and highly opportunistic. Second, that the talent acquisition will need to adjust the talent and organizational tools to be consistent with the inconsistencies of the change itself. So workforce configuration will need to be flexible. People will shift across the market opportunities. Individual talent will not be owned by the individual businesses as well. Rather, talent will be owned by organization-wide consideration. So yeah, I think that's all from me, Ulan.
Okay, Iris, you may want to share your point of view also about this. Okay, what will be like the most important for you on the talent acquisition process itself?
Wow.
I keep asking you a very heavy question, isn't it?
No, I thought that I'm being grilled there, but it's okay. It's okay. I think it's good because this is where we share our thoughts. My view has always been, you see, there is no one most important thing. But then I think we have to see it from the holistic manner, because talent acquisition is the whole ecosystem, from the strategic planning in terms of sourcing, hiring, and then developing them, and then how do you retain. So there's the whole journey of the employee experience. And then one too many times, when we put priority, we put focus in terms of, okay, strategically, we start to engage AI, digital hiring so that we get the numbers. Or let's strengthen our brand so that people are more enticed to join us. And then when they came on board, the onboarding must be compelling enough and then so appealing so that say, oh, I joined the best company, only to discover the development is not there, as well as the career progression is done. Yeah, it's fast, but then it is not sustainable in a sense, because there's a lot more moving parts that we have to look in terms of the whole ecosystem. It's about building the whole employee journey from end to end, from before you hire until you retire. Because retention has always been about even the moment you start to touch base with talent. But how I want to look at it is in terms from the angle of talent acquisition is actually the ambassador of the organization. Because how you approach candidates, how you deal with them, how you explain to them, how you showcase what you have in the organization plays a vital role. I share with you one interesting article that I read yesterday in LinkedIn, and it says, it's from one of the recruiters. They have done everything so well. And they have worked with the internal resource like IT to prepare everything for day one. So the onboarding. So the D-Day came and they waited for the candidate until noon. Only then, when the candidate didn't turn up, so they called. And the candidate said, I'm sorry, company, I've accepted another offer, so I won't be able to join you. So as I mentioned earlier, so now it's a two-way street. Employee also have the right. But to me, this is very rude for somebody not to inform, at least have courtesy to inform, no, I'm declining your offer, blah, blah, blah. So there's another instance whereby also a sharing by a recruiter to state that they wanted to sell, the company is good, but the candidate from the onset are reluctant. So they sell, convince, entice. So at the end of the day, the person went through all the process, interview 1, interview 3, interview 2, interview 3, and then he was successful. But towards the end, another part of the acquisition, the hiring part from the so-called, always people say is HR's fault, did not secure it because, no, we can't afford you. So that's why I say it's a whole ecosystem. Before you engage somebody, know the facts. And then how you go about is putting clarity on the table. I know salary are very sensitive. Salary can be misinterpreted, misconceived people. But internally, you need to know the moment you read the CVs, what are the expectations and so forth, you know whether they fall within the bandwidth or not. And another one more thing, which a lot of us has overlooked. Yeah? I like to say overlooked because we are human beings. You build the best business model, you build the best plan, but we always fail in terms of execution. And then we say, oh yeah, it must be driven from the senior management. Yeah, they drove it. But we miss addressing the middle management most of the time. Widya mentioned a very interesting word just now, culture. To me, interpretation of culture is very simple. Culture is a reflection of the leadership behavior. It has never been about what you want them to be, because the moment you say, this is what it needs to be, there's something wrong with the culture statement. Because culture has always been a form of standard practices practiced across by a group of people over a period of time. So it is a reflection of your behavior. Why I say most of the time we overlook, because from the management side, they start to train, they start to tell people, they start to live and then explain, showcase, and then story tell to people, this is how it should be. But down the ground, you do not know whether that thing truly is cascaded in and out until the grassroots. So when your new person comes in, they are so compelled and enticed to say that, oh, this is one of the culture that I want to be in. Only to realize when they go down to the ground, because if they are reporting to the CEO, the C-1, they are lucky because these people are the one who's driving it. But if they were to be at the mid-tier reporting to someone who is a naysayer or only a passenger to say that, oh yeah, we should do this. Yes, Mr. Management. When the management turns around and says, no, it's not going to work. It's been like that for the past 20 years, so it's okay. So this is where the system crumbles. So that's why I say, I feel, my view is that there is no one perfect way of doing it, but we must put our effort to the best means to see that every pockets are being addressed. And then for us to change, it will take time. And then we are not changing the process. We are changing the whole ecosystem that has a lot of other moving parts or elements supporting it. So that is how I look at it. Renny, I better stop there because if not, I'll be talking until tomorrow.
No. I think we are very happy to hear it, because this is like you highlight that when we are talking about talent acquisition, it's not only one step that's important, but the whole process is very important. And we also get the reminder from you that this is not about how you only attract the right talent for your organization, but you need to make sure that after they join you, you guarantee that there will be a career journey that they will develop themselves. So one day, if they retire, then every single process that we prepare for this person will be highlighted to be, the improvement, the development that it can bring them to the next level of their life also. So now we know, right? Now we realize that as people who work in the human resource area, the talent acquisition part is a very important, that you need to bring your heart on delivering your job, right? Okay, let's continue the conversation. Thank you so much, Harris. It's been like a very enlightenment for me, myself, because it's just a reminder also that you need to treat the talent as a human being. You need to understand their needs also from time to time, right? So let's go for the talent acquisition, specifically on the Suka era. Like everyone is talking about the Suka era from time to time. But let me become very specific that let's talk about the pandemic and post-pandemic. Now, I think most of the country already started to say that this is no longer a pandemic. I think we can live together with the virus itself. It's now we are talking about the post-pandemic, because we changed some countries. Like Singapore also already started that they said now they are ready to take it as an endemic. Indonesia, well, we are about to, but I am not sure. Lebaran is coming, People is traveling, they visit their village and their hometown, and maybe usually the last 2 years experience, the case will be increased. But yeah, we are putting ourselves ready for the endemic situation. So during the pandemic, I think all of us realized that the digital transformation has happened very fast. Then we are pushed to adapt on this fast pace of understanding the digital itself. So as you see it, Khairus, does this also change like the talent management process on your point of view? So just like how do you feel? How do you, because I know that you have a very huge network also there at Malaysia, I mean, and also here in Indonesia. So maybe you can share and about any experience that you hear or involved with. So what will be the key challenge that the organization face and how to overcome it? Again, another grilled question.